Welcome to my live on YouTube today. Um, Today is Wednesday, the 30th of April, and it's just 3 o'clock in the afternoon in the UK time. And so, for those who don't know me yet, I'm a therapist and coach, and I come here on YouTube live to offer some recommendations if you need any help to do with anything with mental health, therapy, mindset, mindfulness, human behavior, human psychology, relationship, any of those things. Anything to do with the mind is the topics that I cover. So let's just me check that I am working, that it's working. Where am I? Yes, it's working. Okay, so let's get started. I take questions, so I don't know if it's going to be busy or not at that time of the day. It's the first time I do a weekday live, but I try different things and see what happens. What I normally do, I come normally on Saturdays, and I'm going to do the same as I normally do, which is read some of the posts that I put out on TikTok today and comment on them. And hopefully, by the time I'm done, I've set up a tone and people will be more inspired to maybe talk to me directly and ask me questions about their life. Okay, so just so you know, I'm on TikTok and on YouTube. The first post of the day on TikTok goes like this: Impatience is believing that your happiness and the key to all of your problems exist somewhere in the future. And so this is a different way to show what impatience is. And we want to realize that it's just about habit. There's only now, there's no future, there's no past. And so when we are projecting ourselves into the future, we're essentially not being here, and we're not only missing out on the moment now, but we are creating some resistance. If you want something to happen, you are very impatient about it. You're creating some tension, some stress about that thing. And if anything, to allow things to happen in a more flowy way, it's better to let it go. And things happen when they happen anyway. So what we should do instead of focusing on the outcome is to focus on here, on now, focusing on the doing, focusing on the process, focusing on whatever that we need to do in order to manifest, to create, to have, which that we are looking for, which what we are after. So impatience is believing that your happiness and the key to all of your problems exists somewhere in the future. If you think about it like that, you realize that impatience is pointless and it's easier to learn how to be more mindful and present. The second post of the day goes like this: You can heal, change, and grow without hating the version of yourself that you are now. So this is very important when you are going on a healing journey. Because a lot of people go, you must change, you must transform, you must be a new, better version of yourself, those sort of things. And it's not a bad way to do it. However, people can take it too literally. And they may think that I must change because I hate everything about me. There's nothing wrong about me. Everything is rotten. And when we do this, we are creating self-hatred. We are creating more shame, guilt, self-resentment, self-blame. And this doesn't help with the healing. And also, it sucks. This is not a way to be and to live a life. So we need to realize that we need to only upgrade some aspect of ourselves. We don't need to change everything. There are a lot of good things already in you because we are multifaceted, we are multidimensional, and there are many parts in us, and even the parts that are bad, they're not inherently bad. All the parts within us exist because they have a purpose, they have a function, they're there for a reason. And so even parts that are to do with anger, shame, jealousy, they're there because we need them to come out in our life at some point and help us go through life. And so understanding that, accepting the whole of ourselves, self-acceptance and self-love is one of the most important part, is the most important part of healing. Self-compassion, self-forgiveness. And for this, we need to really stop repressing some part of ourselves. We must accept that we are a whole, we're a community of parts of minds. We're not just one mind, we're many mind. It's a concept that I'm learning about through a book that I'm reading at the moment. And basically, we believe that we are a mono mind. We believe that we are one mind that thinks about all the things. And it's not like that. We have many minds inside of us. And those minds will come out whenever they're required to save the situation, because they are the most adequate for whatever situation we're going through. So that was the second post. You can heal, change, and grow without hating the version of yourself that you are now. And finally, the third post that I put out today on TikTok goes like this: blaming others frees you from the burden of accountability. And so my job is not to shame or blame people. I will never, ever do that. When I'm talking about accountability, what I mean by that is that if you want to reclaim your power so that you can change some aspect of your life, you must stop blaming others. That's it, right? If you're not ready for that, I understand that we all have a lot of different emotional baggage and wounds, and we don't choose our mindset. We're doing our best with whatever we've been given and the state that we're at this point in time in our journey. So it's very important to realize this. So blaming others is essentially, the way that I explain it is giving our power away. If I'm going to say it's his fault, it's her fault, it's their fault, it's because of bad luck, it's because of bad circumstances, it's because of the gods of bad luck, or whatever that it is, then we're going to be unable to do anything about the situation because it's their fault. And so we don't want to think that anyone has got a responsibility or a fault. It's not like that. We don't have to do anything. But if we want to get better, if we are in a stage of readiness to go in that direction, we must accept that the only way to do this is to have some sort of accountability. Because accountability means, in my eyes, no more or less than facing a problem. Unless you face a problem, you're not even going to realize that it exists, so you can't address it. So there you go. Now let's see if there's any comment. Omnum. Hello, Omnum. Syntax error. Who is the person in the small white picture frame? That's my parents, my dad and my mum, when they got married a long time ago. Natural girl. How do I get over my separation anxiety from having my daughter gone from my home and attending college? I miss her terribly. She will probably not be returning to move back home. Okay, so what you want to do is to realize that the way that you're feeling is normal, because we are designed to adapt to whatever we're going through. So your brain is a machine that adapts to its environment, to everything that you see, that you witness, that you do, that you feel, that you think. We are creatures of habit, and whatever that we repeat consistently in any which way, we reinforce the neural pathways in our brain that are connected to those things. And so what it means is that if you've been living with your daughter and she's gone, now suddenly everything about your routine is changed. There's a lot of quiet. She's no longer there. You don't see her. You can't speak to her. You don't hear her moving around in your home. And so now your brain is going to freak out because your brain wants to keep you safe in whatever is deemed normal and familiar. And so if you change now, there's a part of you that is going to ring the alarm bell, going ding, 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 there's something wrong. And so that's why you are thinking about this more now. However, if you can remind yourself that your brain adapts to everything, then all what you've got to do is to create a new routine. So what I'm trying to say is that the main thing about, how can I say, everything about your environment is going to remind you of her. So the first thing that you can do is to change things around, maybe a little bit, change your furniture from a place to another, put some different paintings, some different decoration and stuff like that. Take the things that reminds you most of your daughter, maybe put it in her room, away from you. So there's some stuff reminding you of her, but not too much. And what you want to do is to create a new routine where you can focus like a project you. What do I want to focus my mind on? What is important to me now? Because if you think just about your daughter all the time, for the fact that she's not here and you're missing her, you will feel sad. And so if you can, for 1 month, create a project. what do I like to do? What are the things that I always wanted to do, but I couldn't really do this because my daughter was there? Maybe you want to play some music every day and dance as if no one was watching. Maybe you want to do a course, learn about something. Maybe you want to cook more things. I don't know. Do things that occupy your mind, so that you are not in a state of doing nothing, allowing for the old thoughts to come back and make you feel bad. Because the way that you feel is down to the thoughts that you have in your head. Whatever thoughts that you have here are going to be translated in the shape and the language of feelings, emotions, and sensations in your body for you to feel. And so, first thing I'd say, if you can shake things around a little bit in your apartment or of your house, that's one thing. That will keep you busy. Declutter, right? That's a project in itself, and doesn't mean throw things away because she's going to come back at some point, maybe. But jazz it up a little bit, so there's a little bit something a little bit of a different environment, because every external cues can trigger things in us. And then the next thing is to focus on a project that you want to develop. What is it that you think is finally time for you to invest yourself into now that your daughter is gone, for instance? Go out, see friends, talk to people, go for walks in nature, socialize, read, watch movies, do stuff. But essentially, keep your mind busy with things that are stimulating you positively, so that you're not in a state of just staring at your place, reminiscing of her because of the things that you can see and feeling bad about yourself about it. Does it help, Nature Girl? We can talk about it more thoroughly if you want. Do tell me more about yourself, maybe, and I can push that conversation a bit further. Lily said hi. Hello, Lily. Lily, I'm having a hard time dealing with stress. What should I do? So if you are, it depends, because stress is, as with everything, there are two ways to look at it, and they both work together. There's first our propensity to be stressed out, and there are also the very stress coming from the outside in. And so let's talk about the stress that comes from outside in. The first thing you can do is to limit the damage, limit your exposure to stress. So I don't know what sort of stress you're talking about, but if it's work, if you're doing things that you don't like, if you are surrounded by people who are not nice, if you are in places that are too loud, too noisy, too busy, too chaotic, this is the sort of things that we talk about. You want to address your environment, you want to choose, and eventually, over time, have an environment that works for you better. But if we can also look at the fact that some of us have a propensity for stress, we can look at this from the inside out as well. Right? We stressed out essentially, and that's one secret reason that most people find very surprising, is that we stress out because we believe that we must stress out. So again, unless we are neurodivergent and we are hypersensitive to sensorial output, then we can actually choose not to be stressed out. Everything about our life are down to the belief that we have about the world, about ourselves in the world. And so if I believe that whenever things are happening around me, I must react to it. Whenever things are happening around me, I must get involved. I must be stressed out. I must feel bad. Then we will allow for stress to manifest itself in our lives. We don't have to stress out. But I know and I understand that it's very hard not to, because everyone does. So if you look at people in the streets, people are stressed out running to work and back from work and wherever that we are going. People are stressed out at work. People are stressed out on the television, on social media, angry, shouting at each other. And so because we look at the world, we look at our parents, we look at our friends, we look at our colleagues, and everyone seems to be stressed out. And so we believe that it's normal to stress out. And so we're going to allow ourselves to react to our environment much more easily. So what we want to do is to change that belief and realize I can learn over time not to let those things in. So again, I need to know what sort of stress you're talking about. Stress can also be born from thought, and it can also be born from some emotions and feelings that we don't understand, but we are trying to avoid. So it all depends on many, many parameters. But the idea behind this is that if you can realize that you don't have to stress out, and if you can minimize your exposure to external stress, then that's a great way to deal with that. Now, some of us have some unhealed wounds, unhealed emotional wounds, baggage, trauma. And so if that's the case, you also want to address this. This will increase your propensity to react to your environment. When we have suffered from trauma and we have not addressed those things, we're going to be on a state of hypervigilance. And so we're going to stress out much more easily. We're going to be triggered. We're going to be offended more easily because it's a part of us that is trying to protect us from things that happened in the past. And so it doesn't mean that we're weak. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong about us. It only means that our system believes that we're in constant danger and we must react to our environment. And so that could be also one of the contributor of your stress. But I need to know you more in order to go in that direction. Does it help at all? Nature girl, thank you. All right, thank you. Lily, okay, thank you so much. That's very good advice. Thank you. Okay, well, that was swift. I'm gonna have a sip of coffee, and hopefully I will have more interactions from you guys. Okay, so we're coming to a little bit of a pause here. I'm a little bit like a bicycle. I need some input to keep going, otherwise I fall on either side. So hopefully, I don't know, if you want to talk about anything at all, please do ask me. Other than that, I'm not sure what to do. I've got something. Para, can I see your tattoos? Well, here they are. I don't want to show you all of them because I would have to take my top off, and I'm not really. It's not the time of the day for this for me. But yes, I've got tattoos. I'm a fashion victim. I'm pretty much covered, and if you're wondering about the meaning behind them, they all have meanings, but it's all very personal. I believe that everyone who's got a tattoo, whether they are thinking about it or not, they're always meaningful because they may not mean something like some strong symbols of of the way they live their life, but it's still connected to a time in their life, to some event, to some people, to some situations that happened, and so it will still evoke something to every single person that has any tattoo at all. Now I can talk about tattoos if you want, only for the fact that I don't have any other questions at this point in time. But sometime, very often actually, people say things like, I will not have a tattoo because I'm worried about regretting it as I get older. And this is actually, it's very interesting because what it means to me is that people are worried about what others think of them. If you really come to a place in your life where you love yourself, where you accept yourself, where you know who you are, then you're going to accept yourself no matter how you look like and no matter what happens to you, because you are you, right? I, for instance, I will never regret my tattoos because this is who I am. Some people might say, yeah, but they get ugly as you get older and wrinkly, but everyone looks different as they get older and wrinkly, with or without tattoos anyway. And so what I'm trying to say is that if you can learn how to accept your tattoos, you're learning how to accept yourself. You're learning how to love yourself unconditionally, right? And I think this is a very great indicator. Some people are like me, and they know that they will never regret anything because they have accepted themselves. Those who are projecting their own insecurities and saying things like, I would never get a tattoo because I'm worried about regretting it, all that they're saying to me, as far as I'm concerned, is just projecting their insecurities and saying, I'm worried that I might not fit in society. People may judge me. People may think some bad things about me, and this is really something that we want to work on, I believe, to find peace. The worry of what others think of us. Nature Girl, what inspired you to become a therapist? Your content is very pointed, simple, and eloquent. Thank you so much, Nature Girl. I'm glad that you appreciate this. I didn't choose to be a therapist. I just became it. Whatever that I've been through in my life. So I had a very chaotic and painful and difficult start in life. So my childhood and my teenagehood were horrid, and I was addicted to class A drugs and alcohol. I had a lot of mental health conditions. I struggled a lot with myself, with people, depression, anxiety, anger, rage, hatred, all of those things for 38 years of my life. And basically, through all that phase, all that I've done is to go through life and do my best to stay alive and see what happens next. And eventually, my life changed. Something transformed myself. I was lucky to experience something that transformed my outlook on self and the past. And I started to stop drinking, stop taking drugs, and start to change my body, my mind. And basically, I just went with whatever came my way. So the first thing that I did was to look after my body because I was a wreck, physical wreck. I was like a zombie. I was I had no coordination. I was always dizzy, always sick. I was always ill, like vomiting, having IBS, having skin problems. My whole body was a wreck. I was never able to think straight. I was over emotional, very reactive. I used to take everything personally. So I used to be a very different person. And the first thing that I could do, that I knew to do, is to address my body. So I became a personal trainer. And then that led me to become a strength and conditioning coach, to be more specific. And as I became strength and conditioning coach, I realized that I could look after athletes with mindset. And so I learned about mindset. And then eventually, after a few years, I became a mindset coach. But then, as I became a mindset coach, I realized that mindset was so much bigger than sport performance. And so I decided to excel myself, and I realized that there was one thing that I was missing. I was missing anything to do with the subconscious mind. I didn't know enough about psychology. And so I studied different things, and I came across Marisa Peer, the founder of RTT, and I learned from her, and ever since I've been a therapist. So there you go. And because I've changed so much over the years, especially since 2009, I mean, no, it started in 2009, and then there has been some phases, some acceleration in my personal growth and self-awareness. And so I've been on a mission to really spread myself around, create some contents. I've been published 10 times with some other authors as a collaboration, but 10 times I've wrote in some books, and I'm working on my own books as well. And I've been on TikTok for 2.5 years, and YouTube now. I'm pushing the shorts, and at some point I will also do some new long form videos. The old ones are very cringy, but I promise you, as soon as I get the time, I will do this. And so basically, I've been giving karma some payback, if you wish. And so, yes, I have ADHD, so I can obsess. You can tell today I'm a little bit high. Sometimes I can really be well, I can be hyper focused on the things that I enjoy. And anything to do with the human mind and spirituality and psychology is what I love. And so I think about it 24/7. I dream about it. I'm always thinking, reading stuff, researching stuff, working on with my clients, talking to everyone that I know about this all the time. So this has become my obsession. But it's a positive obsession because it helped me become better at my job. So there you go. So your question, what inspired me? There's nothing that inspired me specifically, other than my whole life. My whole life, I just follow whatever presents itself to me. I'm very intuitive, and so far my intuition has been very helpful. It saved me many times, and so that's it. I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I don't think about those things. I don't mind. I'm blessed. I'm grateful that I am where I am now, and I'm taking every day as they come, one at a time. I hope this answers your questions, Nature Girl, and thank you for asking this. Thunder, message retracted. Okay. Nature Girl, I love it. You literally went full circle. Thank you for your time. It's not full circle because we don't know, it's not over, right? As long as we're alive, anything can happen. So I could change. Tomorrow I can decide to stop all this and start to be a musician, or, I don't know, do other things that has got nothing to do, or little to do with what I'm doing now. I don't know. For me, really, I understand that the whole point of us being alive is to experience us as us in this life. is to experience our human adventure. And so it's not about following some plans that have been designed by our parents, by other people, by society, by our community. It's more about really us following our intuition and seeing where it's going to take us. And that goes on until the last day we are here, I believe. But thank you anyway for your comment. Nature girl. I have found people with ADHD have special sparkle. They can. So again, we don't want to generalize, but it's true that people with ADHD who understand the condition can really, when we say that ADHD is a superpower, what we mean is that ADHD can be a superpower if we know how to understand it and how to organize a lifestyle and an environment around it. So in that case, yes, ADHD can be absolutely fantastic. I love my ADHD. I love the fact that I can hyperfocus. However, for those who don't, for those who are in an environment that are going to criticize them, not believe them, not understand the condition, it can be hell. When we are neurodivergent, we don't suffer from being neurodivergent. We suffer from an environment that doesn't accept us, that doesn't understand us, that judge us, and that makes us feel terrible about ourselves. And so, yeah. But yes, thank you from the ADHD community. Reason Oswald. Hey, Didican. I didn't know you would stream today. Well, I am here. It wasn't planned. I'm trying to jazz things up. So I'm going to try to maybe to do some lives on YouTube in the weekdays, just to see what happens. Yeah. Thank you for being here. Is there anything you'd like to talk about today? Reason, I hope you are doing good. I'm doing good, thank you. I had a difficult week the week before. We lost our dog, our beloved dog of 13 years. And so that was quite a big shock. And also, again, I don't know if it's because of this precisely, but right after I fell ill, and for like 1 week and a half, I had a terrible chest infection. You can still hear me cough a little bit. But I was bedridden. I couldn't think straight. I couldn't talk. I couldn't breathe without feeling irritated. It was quite horrible. And I believe that it is to do with my dog passing out. Because I also have my emotional blocks of some sorts. And so I'm working on that, like everyone. But essentially, I was waiting for my waves of sadness to get me to a point of climax where I would cry. And I didn't cry. And I wanted to. I really wanted to. I was waiting for that. I had some waves of sadness coming in and out around those few days, but it never really happened. And so I'm wondering if maybe there's a part of me that is still repressing this. And because I have repressed that, and it's such a big deal for me, that energy has manifested itself in a different way. It has affected my immune system, so that as soon as I'm facing some sort of virus, bang, I get it, and I'm feeling really down because of it. Because it was quite hardcore. I don't get sick like that very often to that level of intensity. So there you go. We are a constant work in progress. But yes, all is good. Other than that, I'm coming to myself together, like from Monday. So yes, I'm back into my full power. Going outside, enjoying the sun, going to the gym. I'm starting to talk to people, catch up with my clients, and do some lives again on TikTok and YouTube. Mew Gang, talk about mindfulness. Although I just got here and have no idea what you do. I'm a therapist and coach, and I'm using my free time to spread some DD love around. So if you want to talk about mindfulness, what sort of angle would you like to come at it from? Mindfulness is essentially the art, the skill of being present, of slowing down, of focusing on one thing so much that we are here in this moment. So basically, the opposite of that is when we are. Let me talk about this from a position of therapist. For me, most people are in a state of trance. We live our life on automatic pilot. And what it means is that we're designed to react to our environment, external and internal. So external is the things that we see, the people that we interact with, the things that we smell and hear. Internal is what we think and how we feel. But we're going to react to all of those things because we have all the systems into place to go smoothly through our day. So we have a plan, we have a program, we know that every day I should be doing this, those are my dreams, those are my goals, those are the things that I like, that I want, that I desire, those are the things that I don't want. And we have a system, and we're going to wake up every day and do the same thing. We always do the same thing at the same time, in the same way, with the same people, and we don't even realize this. We don't think about it. And that's why very often we wake up and before we know it, it's the end of the day and we have a vague recollection of some things that happened. And this also happens at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of a lifetime sometimes. And so mindfulness is the opposite. It's learning how to slow down instead of trying to juggle with many things at the same time and being in a state of trance and haze. We want to focus on this moment. So now we are aware of what is happening. We're no longer on an autopilot mode. We're no longer not accessing free will. Because when we're in a state of trance, we don't have free will. And so mindfulness and meditation are very closely knitted. And the things that people get it wrong with meditation, and we can also apply it to mindfulness, is that people believe that meditating is about emptying your mind, creating silence. And this is just not possible. I don't know whoever came up with that, because it's not true. Meditation is about zooming on one thing, just one thing. It can be a breath, it can be a visual, it can be a sound, it can be a feeling, it can be anything at all. But you want to create an anchor and focus on that thing, so much so that now you're present, right? And it's the same thing with mindfulness. Mindfulness is about focusing on just one thing, right? So mindfulness is going to slow down time. It's going to amplify whatever you're doing, and basically you can find peace, you can find beauty, you can find happiness in all the little moments in your life. Your life is a collection of all the moments in your life. If you can be present, if you can make the littlest moment of your life exciting, interesting, or nice, now you have more life to live. And also, you are aware of what is going on because you are no longer on a momentum. And so what it means is that you can actually do some introspection work. You can do some self-reflection work. You can find out about your own self, about your past, about your habits, and maybe some aspects of you that you may want to change because they no longer serve you. So it's a big mismatch or mixed match of words. I hope that you take something positive out of it. But essentially, mindfulness is the opposite of living on automatically, based on the subconscious program that we have installed in childhood. And it's very important when it comes to healing because all biggest problems are born from a lack of mindfulness. Depression is often born from us having not come to a conclusion with our past. And anxiety, because we are worried about the future. And again, with mindfulness, there's no past, there's no future, there's only now. If we can fully accept this, then we can never suffer from depression or anxiety ever again. We can never have any regret. We can never we don't even need to stress out because there's only now, in this moment, we can always find a way to find peace. And if it's really, really bad because of external environment, bad vibes, we can always learn how to remove ourselves. We can learn, when we're facing adversity, there's only over three things that we can do. We can either try to do something about it, to change it if we don't like it, or we can accept it, or we can think about it and suffer from it. That's it. If we don't do something about it, or we don't accept it, then we will suffer from it by thinking about it. And those are all principles of mindfulness. Mindfulness is teaching us how to have a flow and navigate through life in the easiest and most productive and best way, really. So yeah, a lot of words. But again, if you want to give me an angle, I'm more than happy to tackle the topic of mindfulness from your perspective. Miyu Gang. Omnom. I'm sorry for your loss. Mind and body are very interconnected. Thank you. It makes sense to me that you went through that. I wish you're healing both spiritually and physically. Thank you so much. Thank you. So physically it's starting to get better, and yes, mentally as well. Thank you. I mean, mentally, to be honest with you, I didn't feel or think anything that was necessarily distressful. But I believe that a lot of things are happening at the subconscious level. So, um, so yeah, there's that. Reason Oswald at Gang. You ask him stuff and he says why stuff as a response. Okay, thank you. Yes, that's pretty much what we do here. Thank you. Omnum at Reason. Yes, very well put. Ha ha ha. Okay. Gang. I have ADHD and struggle with self-discipline. Okay, so you don't want to have self-discipline. If you have ADHD, you don't want to function in a way that is designed for neurotypical people. You want to find out what is your flow, what works for you, right? We're all different. And we suffer when we have ADHD or if we're on the spectrum of autism, for instance, because we are trying to be normal somehow. I have to have self-discipline. This is what people tell us to do. What you want to realize is that there are things that you can do very well, and some things that are going to be very difficult for you to do because of your very ADHD. And so one of the way that I explain a very common aspect of ADHD is that we cannot do what we don't love. But we can absolutely be obsessed and hyper-focus on the things that we do love. So first and foremost, make sure that whatever that you do in life, you choose something that excites you. Because otherwise you will have to force yourself to do it. And that will create a lot of stress and tension and problems and also self-hatred. What's wrong with me? Why can't I be more disciplined? You're going to absorb the negativity of other people telling you that there's something wrong about your character. Why are you so lazy, for instance? And you were never lazy. It's just that your brain doesn't work like that. And so when it comes to self-discipline, if you want to tell me maybe what would you like to be more self-disciplined about? Are you talking about all the menial tasks in your daily routine? One thing that is also very important is to realize that whatever condition that we have is exacerbated by stress. So if you have anxiety or stress, that is going to re-inflame any traits that you have about your condition. So one way to look at it is to really look at your overall well-being, address your lifestyle and your environment to make sure that you are minimizing exposure to stress. That's one thing. Next thing, you want to create a system and gradually implement the system. So the way that I explain this, we need to address things from three angles. Number one, we want to address the emotional triggers to our biggest problematic habits. Number two, we want to address our lifestyle. So the first one is what we do in therapy or through self-help work, self-healing, through going through journey of self-discovery. Number two, we want to address our lifestyle. Do you eat well? Do you sleep well? Do you exercise? Do you go out? Do you meditate? Do you socialize? Do you spend time in nature? Do you do things that you enjoy? Do you do things that relaxes you? All of those things are about lifestyle. They are very important. Your body and your mind are the same thing, right? So the way that you treat yourself, and this doesn't cost anything, it's really learning about hygiene of lifestyle. That will really, really help you. Keep away from stress. Keep away from toxins, all of those things. And then third one, address your environment. And so if you are surrounded by people who are constantly putting you down, you need to cut them away from your life, at home and at work. Within what you can do, because if you live with your parents, if you are disabled, any of those things, that makes it more complicated. But the idea behind this is that people influence one another by their very presence. Whatever that they do, just being themselves, impact us. And so it's important to be around people who can understand us, who understand that if you have ADHD, your brain is different than people who are neurotypical. So we cannot expect something from neurodivergent if they can't do this. We have our strength and our weakness like anyone else, but we don't function like other people. So that understanding, that acceptance is very, very paramount. Very often people live with people who have conditions, and they sort of know that they have something, but they can't accept it, or they haven't gotten to that place yet. And so there's part of them that is still expecting for them to be different, instead of understanding that this is what we have to work with now, and we can change some aspect of it over time. But right here, right now, this is what is, and this is very, very important to our well-being ourselves when we are neurodivergent. I hope it helps. Me, gang. But if you want to tell me more about what you'd like to be better at, we can cover this more specifically. Reason Oswald at Omnum. Are you doing better since last stream? Also, I didn't expect to see you again. Mew gang, cleaning home, exercising at the gym, going to bed earlier. Okay, so cleaning home, what you want to do is to change the association that you have with anything. So when we don't want to do something, it's because we have an association that is, I don't like it, it's boring. So you may not be able to do everything, but you want to create a list of priority, the 3 things that are the most important to you. And if it's only 3, it's possible for you to address those things. Now, those 3 things, one by one, you're going to break them down in a lot of little baby steps to make it simple and easy. And what you want to do is to first change the association. I don't have to clean the home because I have to do it. I'm going to clean my home because it makes me feel good. I'm going to create some clarity. I'm going to create some feng shui. I'm going to create some space, but it's not only in my home, but also in my head. So change the meaning that you have behind it. Change the way that you see those tasks. It's something that you want to do because it's warm outside. It's like spring cleaning. Any of those things. Come up with a different narrative about the things that you want to do. And then next, so choose 3 of them, change the narrative, and then break it down on many little baby steps. And then what you want to do is to utilize a countdown in your head. So now you have a task to do. You have a lot of little baby steps. You don't need to do the whole thing. Just get started, right? Instead of thinking, I need to do the laundry, think, I need to pick up that 1 sock and put it in the basket. Just that, right? Make it as simple and as easy as possible. Because we kind of stay stuck when there's too much pressure, too much stress, bottleneck effect, procrastination. And so instead, think about something that is simple and easy and even fun. Make it fun. Oh, it's just a sock. I mean, it's like a game, a video game, and you put all the stuff in the basket. And then, if you find it difficult to even get started, do a countdown. Think, okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to pick that sock. And then I want you to see in your head a countdown of 5 from 5 to 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bang, do it. So when you do the countdown, you are essentially preventing your mind to think about anything that will hold you back and resist that action. But also you are creating a momentum. So again, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Think about visualizing 5, 4, like those black and white countdown things on television. I don't know if you've seen them. You see the number, and there's something like that, like a clock. And then, bang, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, sock in the basket. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, dirty t-shirt in the basket, and so forth and so on. Make it a game. And learn how to do this better and better. It may not work all perfectly, but it's about learning a new skill. And as you do this, you may find this much easier to do all those things. But you want to make sure that you don't have any stress and pressure. So don't think, I have to do this, otherwise I'm bad. I have to do this, otherwise I'm a loser. I have to do this, otherwise I'm a pig, or whatever. Just tell yourself, I want to do this because I want to utilize those tools that Didi has told me about. It's fun. Make everything simple, easy, and fun. Right? And so, yep, I'm going to leave that video as I do with all my lives on YouTube. So if you want to replay it, to write down the notes of what I've said, you can do this after the live. So cleaning home, exercising at the gym is the same thing. Exercising at the gym, you must find something that you enjoy. If you don't enjoy doing the things that you do at the gym, choose something else. If you enjoy doing weight, like I do, great. But if you don't enjoy weight, do something else. Do classes, Zumba, whatever, yoga, Pilates, boxing. But if you don't enjoy, find something else. Run, swim, cycle. It doesn't matter. And if you don't like any of those things, then you can do other things. You can walk outside in a park, power walk. You can do yoga at home if you don't want to go to the gym. You can do things that are physically active. You can walk a lot, like my husband walks always everywhere in London, and that keeps him very, very relatively fit because he doesn't like the gym environment. And so the key things in regards to the gym is to really look, is to find something that you enjoy doing. Otherwise, it's not going to be sustainable. And if you have ADHD, if you are sensitive to your environment, like I am, we're all different, it's a spectrum, but I find it very difficult when it's very loud and noisy. And so I make sure that I always go with some earplugs or some music with noise cancellation in it, or even sometimes my earmuff. So I have it all in my bag, so I'm ready. If it's relatively quiet, I just listen to my music. If I don't want to listen to some music, then I put my earplugs. But if it's really loud, I put my earmuff. And also I do my best to go there when it's quiet. I try to avoid as much as I can the rush hours. So these are all things that we want to strategize. Going to bed earlier, so that's a different one. It's a tricky one because with ADHD, there's many reasons as to why we are struggling with sleep. I can't remember where I've seen it, but there was a report that suggested that people with ADHD have generally so much problem with society, with people, with day, that they create a positive association with nighttime. What it means is that in the daytime, we are like a rabbit in a highway and there's too much things happening and we don't like this. We don't know how to function in society. We're trying to overcompensate, we mask, and it's all very, very chaotic and strenuous for us. And so what it means is that we prefer nighttime because it's peaceful. We can think, we can be ourselves. We are feeling safe. And so what happens is that over time, our mind, our body adapts to this. And so what it does is that many of us, let's put it like that, neurotypical people, they have a system in place that creates the right type of chemicals in the body at the right time. And so when it comes to waking up in the morning, people have cortisol, adrenaline, to be alert and get going with their day. And as nighttime comes, just like the hands, the body, the mind are going to create melatonin. And melatonin is going to get them to chill and ready to sleep. Us, because of the association that we have with nighttime being peaceful and safe, we're going to create cortisol and adrenaline at night instead of melatonin. And now, many of us, we're going to be like that. And when we are in that state, there's nothing that we can do. It's chemical. So we want to address this from that place. So one thing you can do is to do some work within your subconscious mind, hypnosis, for instance, meditation, find out about this, if that's the case. And so this is only one of the reasons as to why you may struggle with sleeping. It could be other things. And for me to address this, I will need to know more about yourself. Going to bed is not a problem. What you can do is to, again, create a better association. So think about, I don't have to go to bed. I don't have to wake up. I want to. I want to because tomorrow I've got all those things planned that I want to do, that I'm excited about, that are important to me. So it takes time, but we want to learn how to essentially program your mind to be excited about tomorrow. You have something that is important to you. It's important for you to wake up at that time, to be alert at that time, so that you can do all those things. So it's a whole process, but this is basically the idea behind it. And if you can do this, then it will be easier for you. Again, set an alarm clock. If you want to go to bed at 10 o'clock, for instance, 10 o'clock is ringing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take my clothes off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go in my bed. Go in the bed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do some breathing exercises so that I can chill myself. So you want to find out what sort of routine would work best for you, or do some meditation, or listen to some audio recordings of hypnosis tapes, whatever, what sort of things. And then remind yourself, now I'm doing this because tomorrow I want to wake up. I want to enjoy my day. Tomorrow is so important to me. And if you can do this over time, and it's possible, eventually your mind will wake up. Your mind will start to remember to create the melatonin at night time when you need it to feel a bit more dizzy, and it will also get you to be alert at the time you want to wake up. It's like, it's a bit magic. Your subconscious mind can do things that are quite incredible when you understand how to work with it. So all those things are possible, but again, we're all vastly different, and I don't know you, so I wouldn't be able to give you precisely what would work for you. I'm just giving you a vague idea of how I look after people and how I teach them to do those things on a one-to-one basis. So yes, did any of those advice resonate with you? Meal gang, quitting drug addiction. All right, okay, so that's a lot of other things. So I used to be myself addicted up to the age of 38. So this is a whole different thing. If you are struggling with drugs and addiction, none of the things that I said really matter because they're all lightweight stuff. This is heavy. If you have drug and addiction, it means that you're very unhappy. You're suffering from overwhelm, overthinking, stress, anxiety, depression, all of those things. And so because you're on a constant state of feeling bad about being in your body, you need to find solace from it. And drugs and addiction of any sort, they're there to provide you with a break from this. And so the drug and addiction, they're never a problem. They are the solution to an original problem. So what you want to do is to address the root cause of it. Why do you use drug and addiction? What are you trying to escape from? What is creating that state of unhappiness in you? The way that I explain it is that addictions of any type are only but the smoke to a fire. So you want to address the smoke and the fire. If you just address the smoke, nothing will change. And so we can talk about addiction. If you want to tell me more about what sort of addiction you have, and a little bit about yourself as well, that would be very helpful. Tima Wima, your videos are so calming and affirming. Thank you so much, Tima. That's very kind of you. I appreciate. Miu Gang, those are my struggles and self-low esteem. You mean low self-esteem? Yes. If you suffer from addiction, all of those things are kind of expected. And low self-esteem, again, is just a byproduct of all of those things. If you're in a constant state of getting high or drunk or hangover, first is born from low self-esteem, and next is not going to help with it anyway. So yes, we can talk about addiction if you want. Tell me more about yourself, please. Omnum at reason. Thanks for asking. I am okay. Just I am losing my mind. I have my final exams this week. A levels out of high school. This is also my topic for today. Okay, so what do you want me to say about this, Omnum? Omnum, I have extremely high anxiety. I haven't felt this nervous in years. There's so much to be done. I will never finish studying in time. Help. Okay, so let's address this. So you are doing this yourself. You don't do it on purpose. You don't know. We do this to ourselves, but essentially you are creating a lot of pressure for yourself, and you do it just now. There's so much to be done. I will never finish studying in time. You're telling yourself, there's so much to be done. I will never do it right. It's too hard. It's too much. You are self-hypnotizing into believing that, and then you will feel bad as a result of this. So what I want you to do is to realize that you may get it, you may not get it, it doesn't matter. We must accept that we can only do what we can do. And sometimes life has bigger plans than we can even comprehend or visualize. And so what I say is do your best. And once you've done your best, accept that this is your best and take it one moment at a time. But you don't want to force yourself because you believe that my life is at stake here. If I fail, everything is going to fall apart. People are going to reject me, to dismiss me. I'm going to be unloved or any of those things. I'm going to be a loser. I'm never going to succeed in life. Those are just your parents' fears, society's fears that they have injected into you. You don't need to absorb it. Let it go. You're going to be all right no matter what you go through because you are here in this life to experience yourself. And there are many different ways to be happy and to find out who you are. And so it doesn't mean that it's necessarily just that. It may be that, it may be not that, it may be many things other than that. And so what I'm trying to say is that do your best to enjoy your studying within whatever chunk that you can. Don't try to do everything. You won't be able to do everything, especially with the sort of thought that you have, that you're just demonstrating. Now, when you say, there's so much to be done and I will never finish studying, you are just carrying the stress of your parents, and your teachers maybe, and this is making things harder for you. If anything, for you to learn better, you want to make sure that you give your mind some rest, some break, so that it can process the information that you are learning, right? If you, let's say, if you just try to read and ingurgitate all those things nonstop without chilling, without enjoying yourself, without resting, without being happy, without being safe, feeling safe, then you're going to only remember a very little. The next day, as you sleep and you wake up, you will only process that much. And so you will have wasted over time for nothing. The best thing to do is to really focus on the key points, the most important thing that you think are most important, and realize that that will be enough. And then take breaks, and then chill, enjoy yourself. Take away the pressure, take away the stress, take away the thoughts that says, I've got to succeed, otherwise everything will be bad. It's not true. You may succeed, you may not succeed for that exam, and it's okay, because life is bigger than your exams. But also, if you want to be optimal with your learning process, you want to give yourself some breaks. You want your brain literally needs some chill time and some sleeping in order to process the very information that you are ingurgitating every day. So if you want to be optimal and productive, this is how you do this. If you want to sabotage all of your work, you don't stop reading and learning. This is the opposite of what is going to give you the opposite of what you're after. So first, you want to understand the process of how your brain works. You really want to enjoy what you do, and to not to be in a state of stress and unsafety. When you feel unsafe, also your brain is not able to function optimally. Your memory is going to be impacted big time. And so when you're stressed out, you are in a state of feeling unsafe. And there's too much overwhelm of stress and anxiety and overthinking and worries. And so do your best to be chilled, choose what is important, and then have breaks, have chill mode, and make sure that you sleep well as much as you can. Go to the gym if it helps you sleep better. Any of those things. Learn how to breathing mindfully, meditate, those things. And then trust the universe to support you. And on the day of the exams, you will remember what you need to remember. And I believe that there's more chances that you actually pass than you don't, if you do that. Now, if you are trying to do everything that you think you should be doing, that will actually be very risky, because now you need to minimize not only the insertion of the new data in your mind, but also the retrieving it when you need it on the day of the exam. And so, yes, does it help? Take the pressure away. None of those things really matter. I know that it's impossible for you to accept this at this point in time, but really, trust me, life is much bigger than one exam or two. You will find your way. You are supported anyway. And I believe that there are chances that you pass anyway, but make it easy on you. I don't even want good grades. I just want to pass them. I'm right at the time. I'm right at the limit. Okay, so this is it. Do what I said. Like between passing and not. So you keep on talking about the outcomes, right? You said, I don't even want good grades. I want to just pass them. And then you say, like between passing. So you are focused on the outcome. So here's another thing. Forget about the outcomes. Focus on what you're doing. Focus on this moment. Mindfulness, being present again. If you're focusing on the outcome, you're focusing on tomorrow, on the future. I want this, and you're not here. So you're not utilizing the here and now to prepare yourself to what's coming. So forget about outcomes. Outcomes has got nothing to do with you. They just happen when they happen in their own ways. And so whether you think about outcomes or not is not going to change anything at all. And so you might as well focus on the process. Find a way to enjoy what you're doing and relax and chill. And this is what I always say to people. Replace focusing on the outcomes with focusing on the doing. Focus on what you're doing now. And that will optimize your results. Reason at Omnum. I'm sorry to hear that you're stressing like this or so nervous. Let's see if we can get some ideas for this. So there you go. So I hope that what I said was useful. And again, I'm going to leave that video on my page. All my live videos are to be found, so you can always replay it if you want to take notes if you have missed some point. Mo again, thank you so much. Thank you. Caroline, hello Didi. Hello Caroline. How can one think more positive even though I have trauma from the past? Tips for a more positive outlook. So if you have trauma, you want to address the trauma, right? It's like you have a big thing, it's called trauma, and you want to address the little thing that is the byproduct of it, right? It's like when you have the analogy that we often use is, imagine there's a pipe leaking water, and all you are worried is to mop the water instead of fixing the leak. And so, if you have trauma, find ways to address the trauma, right? Now, generally speaking, if you want to have more positive thoughts, whether you have trauma or not, it's difficult, because trauma is going to get you into a state of survival. You are on a hypervigilance mode. You are on the outlook of all the bad things constantly, and it's subconscious. It's always there. You have a constant system, an alarm system that is always buzzing in the background and scanning the environment all the time. And so that is going to limit your access to your rational mind, right? And so how can you do this? Learn about mindfulness and meditation and how to breathe mindfully. And as you do that, you will be more able to have access to that mind. But really address your trauma. Find someone to help you with that. If you want to ask me something, I think it would be more useful to you to ask me how to deal with a trauma rather than how to think better thoughts. We can try something. So you had trauma, but you are not always in that state. There are moments where you are maybe more relaxed and more happy. So think about those moments. Think about those things that you're doing. Give me some examples. When are you cheered? When are you happy? When do you feel safe? When do you feel inspired? When are you creative? Answer me those questions, please. And in those answers will be your solution. Me gang, it is heroin addiction. I find extremely hard or almost impossible to stop. Okay, yep, I get it. I don't know what else to say. I appreciate you. Okay, so this is quite big stuff here. So I used to take this as well. But again, we're all very, very different. I don't know your lifestyle. I don't know what is happening in your life, your history, and your environment either. So it's going to be tricky. What I'd say is seek professional help. If you suffer from heroin addiction, you need professional help. Right? There's no little mindset hack that will help you with that, I'm afraid. Whatever addiction that you have comes from a void inside of you. So you want to address that void. What is the heroin doing for you? What do you need to escape your own body? Yeah. Yeah, no, seek professional help. I don't even want to go that way because, I don't know. If you ask me some questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. But we're all vastly intricate and complex. And so I need so much more information from you to even give you any more advice, knowing the gravity of your situation. Live and learn. Beautifully said, Didi. Oh, thank you, live and learn. Omnam, the remembering very little because of the stress is my main problem right now. Okay, so address the stress. There you go, you get it, right? If you're stressed out, your brain feels that you are not safe. And so instead of focusing on the things that you want to learn, it's going to focus on your environment. It's going to seek for an emotional safety. Yeah. And that can last hours. That can last the whole duration of your studies. And so nothing will get in. And so address the stress. Prioritize finding a way, breathe mindfully, practice mindfulness, learn how to do this. You may not have that much time to get to where you want to be. It doesn't matter. Something is better than nothing. chill, do things that makes you happy. Go for walks, listen to... Sorry about that. It's the remnants of my chest infection from last week. Yes, address the stress. Address the stress. Address your thoughts. Address also your body. You know, we have stress that is literally energy stored in our body. So you can shake, you can dance, you can walk, you can move, you can squat, you can do anything like that to physically get out. Yeah, let go of the inbuilt stress every morning as you get started in the day and throughout the day as well. Me gang, I have daily habits, rituals, and patterns all surrounding my addiction. Yes, I understand, of course. I was there. I remember when we have addictions, everything is gravitating around it so that we can function in life, in society. Megan, focus on the journey, not the destination. Yes, yes. So this applies for everyone. Do your best. So with you are going through what you're going through. But do your best to find some little moments of peace and clarity. Learn about mindfulness and breathing. That's all that I can tell you at this point in time. Yeah. Gabriel's. Hi, hello, Gabriel. How do you trying to seek validation? So let me try to rephrase this. How does one avoid seeking validation, right? Okay. So the reason why we seek external validation is because we believe that our worth is dictated by what others think of us. It's just a belief. So you want to address that belief. You want to find out why you have that belief. And the reason why we have that belief more often than not is because we borrowed it from our parents. There's one parent who was concerned about what others were thinking about them, right? Or maybe both of them. And so because of that, we have observed them behaving like that, and we have picked up that habit as well. And now we believe that we must do this because this is how we must do things. And it's not like that. And so to stop seeking external validation, you want to realize that people don't know you. So when they're judging you, they're not really judging who you are because they don't know who you are. You don't even know who you are fully, you know. We go through life trying to find out who we are. So how can anyone know who we are if we're still trying to find out ourselves? And so what are they judging when they judge you? They're only judging a projection of their own insecurities. They're only judging a projection of their own fears, of their own limitations, of the things that they don't like about themselves. So they're never judging you. And so you don't need to worry about others judging you. And also, external validation means that you had a childhood where you had to make your parents proud or proud of you. So this is external validation. I'm only loved if I do something, if I show something, if I demonstrate something, if I win, if I'm the best. And because of that, we have created those habits. But just habits, you don't need that. You don't need any of those things to give you love. You can learn how to love yourself. You can appreciate that you are awesome. You have a lot of qualities. You have created a lot of achievements. And there are some people who love you just for who you are, who are not asking you to do or be or anything else than what you are. So it's a process, but you want to essentially learn how to change the narrative that you have in your mind. You want to change that little voice in your head that is constantly telling you, you should do this, you should do that, or what do they think about you, and replace it with a voice that is going to support you. Because that voice in your head is the echo of all the voices from the people from your past that is still living somewhere in the back of your head. And so you don't have to listen to those voices anymore. If you do, you're going to allow those voices to hypnotize you and feel the same as you do every day. And seeking and feeling the need to seek external validation. And so it's a whole journey, it's a whole process, but essentially you want to learn how to talk to yourself in a more positive way. You want to realize that the voice that you have in your head is very, very nasty, is very judgmental, is very merciless, is very cruel. And you want to realize that you would never talk to your friends the way that you talk to yourself. Right? And And so what you want to do is to learn how to become your own coach. You want to become your own therapist, your own PR, PA, your own manager, your own best friend, best parent, best sibling. And you want to talk to yourself the way you would talk to someone that you care about, that you want to help out, that you want to love. I hope it makes sense. And it's a process, it's a skill, it takes time, but this is pretty much, those are pretty much the big lines to how to do this. Now again, some of us have some baggage from the past, so depending on each individual, you may have some baggage to address specifically through your journey of healing those things. Yeah. Does it make sense, Gabriel? Omnum, thank you, Didi. I will try my best. My chill time is being present in this life, fantastic, and cleaning/taking care of myself before I carry on with the studies. Yes, absolutely. Sometime doing some tidying up is quite therapeutic. I love washing the dishes, for instance. I find it very relaxing. And so this is the thing. For me to do those things, I had to create a positive association with those things because of ADHD. But now I enjoy it. It's my chill time when I wash the dishes. Omnum, having a clean space and taking care of my body helps. Yes, think about looking after yourself, self-love, self-care. When you're looking after your place, you are also rearranging your own mind. This is feng shui for you. When you declutter, you're decluttering your environment, so what you see is going to be more peaceful and easy to comprehend, and your mind will also reflect that. Caroline, when I work out with music, I like my cat, watching my favorite show, taking a walk, being around nature, and then I feel more at peace and happier. So there you go. Being with my cat, a walk, being around in nature. So you want to do more of this? The original question was how to be more positive, to think more positive by bringing yourself more often into those places and reminding yourself that you are able to choose how you feel because you are choosing what you do. Right? Do more of this. Do some workout with music. Spend a lot of time with your cat. Pets are amazing. Watch some shows. Go walk in nature. Fantastic. Do this. This is how you create positive thoughts, right? By reminding yourself of your power. It's not just about the doing. The doing is great because it makes you feel better in the moment and you are mindful and you're enjoying your life. But also it's reminding you that you have power. You can choose what to do, what to think, so that you can feel better as a result of your better choice of thoughts and actions. That's how we create better thoughts. If you have some negative thoughts that are a pattern, tell me what they are, and we can address them. As I was explaining to on another conversation just before, we can also change the significance, the interpretation, the meaning of anything, so that it's no longer something that we resist. Megang, thanks again, Didi. Thank you, Megang. Caroline, it is that I know. So again, Megang, I specialize in addiction, so I don't know if you want to have a one-to-one with me on a Zoom call. We can have a discussion. If you were seeking professional help, that's what I'm saying. We could do this. You could go on any of my videos. There's a link, or on my profile on YouTube, there's a link to my website, and we can organize a discovery call. It's free. Just half an hour, we talk, and we find out if we can work together. So it's something that you may want to consider. If not, I wish you all the best, and I'm sure that there's someone with a toolbox for you that can help you out at some point when you're ready for this. Caroline, it is that I know I have childhood trauma and I try small steps to accept it, relationships, trauma and bullying, but I don't know if I should accept things one small step at a time. Let me try to understand. It is that I know that I have childhood trauma, okay? And I try small steps to accept it. You don't need to accept that you have childhood trauma. You know that you have a childhood trauma. What you want to do is to address the systems that the trauma has put into place that are creating problems for you in your life now. Does it make sense? Relationship trauma and bullying, but I don't know, should I accept things one small step at a time? What do you mean by accepting things? You don't need to accept that you had trauma. You had it. You know it. It's affecting you, right? So you don't need to accept it. Uh, Maybe what you're saying, I don't know, it's a bit confusing here. Are you saying that maybe you want to forgive yourself? You want to accept that you didn't have a choice then, and now you're different. Uh, could you make it clearer for me, please? I want to have a conversation with you, but it's very confusing. What you want to do when you have a trauma is to address the the systems that are creating problems in your life now that you put into place when you had trauma. So the hypervigilance, the paranoia, the negativity bias, all of those things. The inability to regulate yourself emotionally. Mei Gang, how do we deal with trauma? So we deal with trauma by, if we can understand where it comes from, that's the first step. But then it doesn't have to be always the case. What we want to do is to essentially understand that trauma has dysregulated our nervous system. Our body believes that we're still under threat because we've been overwhelmed by too much distress, stress, fear, discomfort, pain, and we have not been given a system to regulate this. And so we're still there. And the body still believes that it's still happening. So we are still on survival mode, essentially. And it's going to affect not only our mental and emotional well-being, but also our very physical health, because it's affecting different parts of our body. It spreads, it develops. And so we want to find a way to access your subconscious mind. So that's the shortcut. Right? Trauma doesn't live in your head. It lives in your body, in your nervous system. And so there are some protocols that are doing this. The protocol that I use is called RTT, but there are also others. There's one called EMDR, but it's also very, very popular for trauma. And there are many more. And it's for you to do your research and find out what tools can help you access your subconscious mind. Talking therapy will not help your trauma. It may explain some things at a cognitive and intellectual level, but it's not going to change it because trauma is emotional. It's in your body, right? So you want to basically, you can also do it through many years of working on yourself, and how to meditate, mindfulness, all those things. It's possible. But the shortcut would be, in my mind, I'm going to talk about what I know. So RTT, anything to do with hypnosis, hypnotherapy, to me, what I know works the best for it, because we go back straight into your subconscious mind and we're going to find out the very episode of your past when the trauma occurred and when you have created that system that has become a problem now in your life. And then we change the energy of the memories of the past. And as we change the energy of the memories of the past, because there's no past, what we are changing really is you now, today. We're changing your personality. We're changing your outlook on life. We're changing your emotional triggers. Yeah. Was it clear, Mel Gang? Ask me more if you want. Gabriel, thank you for your advice. Thank you. Pumpkin Puff, hello Didi. How have you been? I've been all right. I had some ups and downs. I had some bad stuff happening to me last week, but so is life. And now I'm back into a better place and all good. Thank you for asking. How about you? Josiah Lawrence, hello. What is the dark side of empathy? There's no dark side of empathy. When empathy is connecting with others, if there's a dark side, it's something else, right? So, for instance, people who are empath, they are super sensitive and they can feel too much. They struggle with that because they feel too much and they feel all the time. But the problem is not the empathy. The problem is the reason why empaths suffer so much is because they have all the wounds that they see in others inside of them. And so when they are facing them, their own wounds are being reactivated. And so the problem is not the empathy. The problem is that they have not addressed their own wounds. I hope it makes sense. But a lot of time, empaths are saying how they hate being empath because it makes them feeling too much negative emotions all the time. It's not the empathy. The problem is their own unhealed wound that exists within them. And so, yes, from my position, I don't see any dark side as far as empathy is concerned. But when bad things happen because of something that involves empathy, then it's going to be something else. Right? Can it cause emotional burnout? So yes, so I covered it. So yes, so if people have not dealt with their own wounds and they are empath, they will have emotional burnout. Absolutely. So many of my colleagues, therapists, they do that. They look after people and they take everything in and they're not able to let it out because, again, all their own wounds have been activated and they don't know how to deal with their own wounds. They may be able to deal with other people's by giving some advice, but they haven't dealt with their own. And this is what is overwhelming them, and this is how they burn out, and this is how many of them find it very difficult to look after others. Can empathy lead to an addiction of traumatic experience of others? No, we don't get an addiction of traumatic experience of others. I don't think we can be addicted to other people's trauma. Some people, if you are, let's say, a sociopath, you may actually enjoy, you will be in the profession for the wrong reason. And you may actually enjoy finding out more about others and secretly enjoying it. But this is not an addiction. Some conditions are getting people to not have empathy, and they may enjoy having self-control and see how people react. So that'll be a whole different thing altogether. But I don't believe that. I don't see how empathy could lead to an addiction of traumatic experiences of others. If you have empathy, if anything, you feel it. So you don't want to be addicted. It's not nice. Yeah. Unless I missed on something, I don't see this, Josiah. Josiah, how much do you bench? I don't bench that much, actually. I've got a lot of problems with my joint. I used to compete. I'm a powerlifting champion. So if you see, there's some trophies there. I've been number 1, number 2, and number 3 consecutively of the strongest man in my category in the UK. But that was a long time ago. Now I train mainly for health, for enjoyment, for lifestyle, and also I have a lot of problems. So I'm working on my problems. I'm working about understanding my body better to readjust to my age, and to train more optimally without injuries. I've got some problems here. And so basically, because of my bipolar, I have been in situations where I have injured myself often. So basically with bipolar, if you take a lot of caffeine, you can train and be super strong for a long time. So I could train for 5 hours, lifting heavy weight until I break, until I can't move. I have cramps everywhere because I was going to the States. And I've done this for a long time, and it's only like I don't know, 2 years ago that I realized that the bipolar was still affecting my life, but only at the gym. And so now I'm learning how to do less, how to avoid the caffeine, and how to be happy with whatever that I do, because I'm focusing on health first and foremost. So I don't bench that much. I'm still relatively strong compared to, let's say, regular gym people. But now numbers are no longer my priority. I don't compete anymore. Caroline, what can one do about these systems like being tense? Because we have from trauma to make things better. I like meditation very much. So there you go. Meditation. Mindfulness and meditation. That's what you do. Again, as I always say, address the emotional triggers, but also address your lifestyle, but also address your environment. So there's an element of environments here. Make sure that you minimize your exposure to negative people, and to overwhelm and stress, right? Everything that we do is a process. And so very often people ask me questions in the hope that I can give them the magic bullet, the magic wand that fixes everything right around now. And it's never like that. Again, what I always say is that nothing in this world exists only because of one reason. Nothing in the world has one solution that will fix it for everyone just like that. Everything is a result of many things all happening at the same time. And so the more we know about the bigger picture of ourselves, the more we can address all of those different facets of ourselves and get to some better results. So learn about yourself, learn about your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, learn about how to make any of them. Just 1 second, please. Hello. Top floor, please. Sorry about that. I wasn't expecting some delivery, but my husband is an antique dealer and he orders a lot of things all the time. So there you go. So yes, Caroline, expand your understanding of yourself, and as you gather more pieces of puzzle of yourself, you know what to add to your arsenal of new habits to apply to change your life more and more every day. Right? Let me read again. It's a bit confusing the way you phrased it. What can one do about the system? So again, the system is just the way that I explain how we suffer from trauma. So really what you want to do is to address the trauma. Right? Seek some professional help if you can. If not, just go on a self-discovery journey. And in the meantime, meditation, mindfulness, all very good. Those are skills for life. And so they're never a bad idea. Me again, great advice. Thank you. Something that I said was useful, good. I'm glad with that. Caroline, when I think about a trauma, it makes me sad and a bit down. What can I do about that? You don't need to think about the trauma. The trauma is what happened in the past. The trauma is how an event has changed you and your body now. So thinking about the trauma itself, you're thinking, okay, I think I understand. You're thinking about the things that happened to you and that is making you sad, right? So I understand. If that's the case, correct me if I'm wrong, but if what you say is you feel bad because you think about what happened to you, then what you want to do is to change the perspective that you're looking at that scene from. So you feel down and sad because every time that you replay those memories in your mind, you are looking at it from the perspective of the child that you were then. And so when you're the child, you're going to feel sad. You're going to feel powerless, helpless. You're going to feel confused and lost because this is where you left the child at then. So when you go back into those emotional states, you will feel exactly the same way you felt then. And so one way to do this, and again, it's a process, but you want to learn how to look at it from a different perspective. Look at it from the position of the adult. Right? If you see things from the things that happened to you as a child, whoever hurt you, they're big, they're scary, there's nothing you can do about them. But if you can look at the situation from the position of the adult that you are now you are bigger. Now you have resources, you have knowledge, you have wisdom, you have information, you have freedom, but you didn't when you were a child. And so if you can look at the situation from now, you can experience a whole different experience through those memories. So realize that now, if the things that happened to you when you were a child happen to you again and now you can deal with that because you are no longer a powerless child. Now you have intelligence and wisdom and experience and knowledge. Now you have resources. So first you want to feel safe. Whatever happened was then. Now things are different. You are no longer a child. You are a grown-up. You have so much power, so much intelligence, so much intuition, so much imagination that you can use to deal with those things. Number one, feel safe. And number two, something that you can do, and it will take some time, but is to see the people who hurt you and abused you like people. See them like human beings. Now, I don't know how old, who did what to you and how old anyone was then. But if you can realize that those people who hurt you, if they were your parents, for instance, they're still people. They have their own baggage. They have their own trauma. Generational trauma is a thing. They have their own issues. And so when we look at them from the position of the child, we look up to them, they're gods to us. But if you can look at them as an equal, I am a human being, I'm an adult, they're adult, so let's look at them. Maybe you can have some understanding of them, and maybe you can find some compassion for them, and maybe you can forgive them. Maybe you can realize, they did their best, and the best was not good enough as far as the child was concerned. But now, from an adult's position, I can see that they didn't have any other choice because of X, Y, Z. They didn't choose to have their own baggage, to have their own situation, whatever they had to go through. Right? So, by changing the position from which you're going to look at that thing, it's going to change the experience itself. Right? So, if you feel bad about your past trauma, as in the experience itself, then change the perspective that you look at it from. First, what you want to do is to, if you feel bad, which you will, give yourself a hug. Talk to the child inside of you and tell her, you know what, it's okay to feel like that. Allow for the sadness or the fear to happen and let it out and tell her it's okay to feel like that because anyone in your shoes would feel the same. However, I am here now. So now you need to move from here to there. You're the adult. You are the rational, intelligent mind. You can tell the child, I'm here to look after you, to look after ourselves. There's nothing we can do together, and I'm going to make sure that you're safe. I'm going to teach you how to feel better about yourself. I'm here. I've got it. And everything's going to be fine. And so this is how you start healing your inner child. And then next, see things from your position. So now, what is happening? What is happening? Let's say you are giving an advice to a friend of yours that is telling you about that thing. What would you advise your friend? Can you show that in a different light so that it's more empowering as opposed to overwhelming? And yeah, so that's the process. I see some little hearts, so I believe that maybe it's you who agrees with that or someone else. Does it make sense, Caroline? Me again, I get tense too. Yep. Body tension, muscle tensions due to emotional issues. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So our bodies react to how we feel all the time, and we create all of our chronic illnesses, I believe, are connected to emotional imbalances. Me again, it happens subconsciously. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Pumpkin puff. As life goes, same as you, ups and downs. I need to work on letting things go and just existing, but I stress and hold on to a lot. Okay, let me read this again to try to understand. As life goes, same as you, ups and downs. Yes, same as everyone. This is life. I need to work on letting things go. Yes, and just existing. You don't need to just exist. You want to enjoy your life. If you just exist, you are unaware of anything. You're just you're a rock, a tree. You exist. You want to explore the little moments of happiness that you can find in everything. This is what you want to do. You want to explore, learn to be mindful, and be like an adventurer. You are seeking the good things about life. So by practicing mindfulness, you can find beauty and love and happiness and peace in the littlest things. And this is what your life is about. It's a process. Not everyone can do it straight away. Most of us can't. But that's the point of life. You don't want to exist. You want to live. You want to thrive. You want to create. You want to breathe. You want to love. You want to connect. You want to express yourself. You want to be inspired. You want to become who you're always meant to become. Right? But I stress and hold on to it. So it's a process. So if you want to talk about your stress, we can address those things. Again, stress is just about habit. We don't have to stress out. Josiah Lawrence, except unless, of course, if we are neurodivergent, in which case we need to create a lifestyle and an environment that support us. Josiah, I did amateur bodybuilding too. Okay, good on you. And I trained daily without rest day for years. Why has my need for gym gone after therapy and counseling? How can I find the motivation again? We change. And so maybe it's something that was important to you for you then, and maybe it's no longer the case. We are constantly evolving and changing all of our life. And so because you've been for therapy doesn't mean maybe you found something in you, some sort of answers that bodybuilding doesn't need to help you with, right? And so yes, if you want to go back there, you shouldn't have motivation to do something. If you need motivation to do something, it means that it's no longer a thing for you. You know, we should do things that we enjoy, that we're naturally attracted to, that stimulate us positively, naturally. If you need a motivation, then maybe it's time for you to do something else. You don't have to do bodybuilding all of your life. Maybe you can start to do a different sport or different physical activity, whatever it may be. Life is full of stuff. You don't have to stick to one thing. And your personality also evolves and changes. And so I love my strength training. And I know that I will always do it because I was a trainer myself, so I understand how we can create a lifestyle that is optimal for health and happiness. And so there's a lot of reasons that gets me to naturally enjoy what I'm doing. But if I had to seek motivation to do this, I wouldn't do it. I'd rather go Zumba or whatever. It doesn't matter. I'll find something else to do. There's always something else. Pumpkin. Also, I noticed you're live on Wednesday. I thought you only went live on YouTube on Saturday. Yes, I changed. Again, we change. So I'm trying something different. Up till today, it was only on Saturdays. But now I want to mix it up a little bit and see what happens. And so I'm trying weekdays, and it seems to be quite good so far. And so I may try to do some lives more in the weekdays. I don't know. I will probably go on live again on Saturday. I'm not sure, but I'm trying to change things a little bit now. And so the best thing that I can say, if you want to come on my live regularly, just whenever you check YouTube in the morning, see if I have scheduled a live in the day. I'm thinking weekdays between 3 and 5 is not bad. Yeah. But yes, well done for noticing this. Caroline, environment, less negative people, less overwhelmed and stress, learn about physical health and mental health. Expand understanding of yourself, more habits that are good for oneself. Yes, all of those things. Caroline, but if I had trauma as an adult, how can I think then? It's the same. If you had a trauma as an adult, whatever happened to you, you've learned something from it. And so now you know what you would do if it happened to you again, right? So trauma, I don't know. What trauma happened to you? If it was an accident, let's say in a car crash or a plane, you want professional help. Right? I can help you with that. I've done a lot of things like that very successfully. But what I was trying to say is that you, even if you didn't do that, you know that now you can check things to make sure that you avoid whatever situation that you've been in. You may not have all of the information, but you have more informations. And what you want to do is to have a system so that you know what to do if it happens to you again. And that will help you feel better about the situation. But really, when it comes to trauma, to do with PTSD, again, it's all happening here. So my advice would always be seek professional help so that you can change that. What do you mind telling us what trauma it is? And also, when we work with trauma, even if they are in adulthood, there's also an element of having a propensity to the trauma. So when we're overwhelmed, any one of us we experience trauma if we are having, let's say, an accident or something, some natural disaster, things like that. However, the level at which we're affected will also be exacerbated if we have a propensity for it. And so essentially, what I'm trying to say is that we found out that a lot of people who had trauma, let's say soldiers from the Vietnam War, they all had one thing in common. So on the field, there were a lot of soldiers. Some of them didn't get traumatized. Most of them did. And out of them, those who got traumatized, some get better over a few months, some over a few years, some never get better and get worse. And basically, people who are the worst cases of trauma all had a very horrible childhood. They didn't get love or beaten up by their parents. And so because of that, they had a propensity to react more aggressively to some external overwhelming situations. And so through therapy, we also address this. We don't address just the actual event, but also the past that may have caused for that person to be more sensitive, even more than other people in regards to the trauma as an adult. Hope it makes sense. Caroline, I had as an adult and as a child. Okay, so there you go. So now you are basically just confirming what I said. Whatever happened to you as a child also creates a propensity for you to allow yourself to be in the same situations that you were before, because it's what feels normal to you. And so maybe, are we talking about trauma in regards to people? Is it your partner? Have you been in an abusive relationship? And did you have also an unhappy upbringing with your family? Because to me, it would make sense. If that was the case, if you had a difficult childhood because your parents being unavailable or abusive, then you would have created a sense of self that says, this is who I am, I attract the sort of people, I deserve that. The only type of love that I can have comes with harm, with hurt, with manipulation, with lies, with deceit. And so now, as an adult, we're going to attract people in our romantic relationships that are like that. And we don't realize that we're doing this for ourselves. Because we have created patterns, it feels normal, it feels familiar, it feels homely. Is that what you meant, Caroline? Is the relationship trauma? Did you have a narcissistic partner? Josiah, please leave a like, guys. Thank you, Josiah. Click the heart button, please. Show Didi some love. Thank you so much, Josiah. Mia Gang, let's all press the hearts at the same time for fun and love and gratitude. Thank you so much, guys. The Karima said hi. Hello, Caroline. Thank you, Didi. Thank you, Caroline. Pumpkin stuff. I liked that quote you just said. You don't want to just exist, you want to live. Yes, indeed. Thank you. I tend to forget that is the whole point of life. I'm so focused on just functioning. I'm not thinking about living. So that'd be because you are living on survival mode. Many of us are. So if you haven't addressed your depression, your trauma, your anxiety, then you will be on a state of trance, just trying to make it one day at a time, just to function, just to keep going. And so you want to work on yourself and remind yourself that life is not about this. But of course, if you're into that state, you don't choose this. And so you have some problems to address. Right? You want to find out why you are overwhelmed all the time. And you want to learn how to let go of all of those weight one at a time. So that eventually you can start to live. You don't need to survive anymore. Pumpkin, also, thanks for answering my questions. I was just wondering, but happy you're here. Okay, fantastic. Synchronicity. Caroline, yes, relationship trauma. Okay, so there you go. So did what I said make sense? Did that corroborate with your experience? Yes, it makes sense. Okay. So what you want to do is to work on how you perceive yourself. Because until you do that, you will keep on attracting the same sort of people. It's not that you are attracting them, you are attracted by them. Because if you believe that this is who you are, then you will need to find people like that to fit the narrative that you have about yourself. Pumpkin Puff, how do you go about healing living in fight or flight mode? You address the triggers, you address the reasons as to why you are in a fight or flight mode. So the first thing that you can do is to learn how to breathe mindfully. That will help you feel better in the moment. Now, if you don't have all the other tools, you will go back to that state. But what you want to do is to learn how to be mindful and learn how to challenge your limiting belief. But if you're in a fight or flight mode, what do you call fight or flight mode? what are we talking about? Are you talking about your state every day or a certain specific moment in your life? If you are in a fight-flight mode, it's because of some big problems that are the cause of it, and you want to address those things. So fight-flight is only the response of you because of something. Address the thing, right? Address the fire, not the smoke. So again, if you have any conditions, any problems, seek professional help if you can. And if not, you can learn how to do this on your own. A lot of people can't afford therapy. It's okay because nowadays, in our days and age, information is everywhere. AI, Google, Internet, YouTube, it's all there. So find out whatever books you must read, whatever things you must, protocol you can practice to feel better about yourself. It's for you to go on your own self-discovery journey. It's possible. A lot of people do that. But essentially, you want to address, if you want to ask me a more specific question, because I'm not really helpful here, I'm realizing. I want to help out. I want to give you some help, but I need you to give me something very specific. Ask me a bullet point question, specific, and I can give you something close to it, because the question is just very vague. How do you deal with fight flight? You address the reasons as to why you are in a survival mode. What's the answer? The Kalima, thanks for helping us. Appreciate it. Thank you, the Kalima. Of course. Me gang, I love Louise Hay. Okay, good on you. Good on you. Yep, she wrote some books. And then she started her own company, publishing company, where she published a lot of different authors. And she's all into, if I remember, into the law of attraction kind of things, isn't she? Josiah Lawrence, why do you say that people who call others ignorant are the problem? Is it wrong to notice ignorance, or is it wrong to point it out? Yes, because it doesn't help. If you call someone ignorant, you're telling them you're bad, you're stupid, you're inferior, you're wrong. How are they going to feel? They're going to defend themselves. So now we're not being productive. If you understand that we're all ignorant, I'm ignorant of many things, you are, we all are. No one knows everything. And so what I want to realize is that some people may not know something about something. We can teach them. We can help them. Or if they're too far off, then we can avoid them. But we don't need to call them out for it, because we are all ignorant of some things. Just bear with me, please. My watch is telling me that it's time for me to post my second TikTok post of the day. So I'm going to do this right now. Okay. Just bear with me, please. You can heal. Okay, good. So again, ADHD. 4, 3, 2, 1, do it straight away. If you wait too long, it's going to be gone in the limbo of the twilight zone. Okay, so when we are facing people who are ignorant, if you want to be helpful, we don't want to create frictions. If you tell them that you're ignorant, you are going to make them feel bad, and they will go into protection defensive mode. And so now there's no conversation possible. It's just going to be win or lose, fighting, right? Verbally. And so instead we want to kindly tell them, you know what, I understand where you're coming from. I used to think the same. I didn't know. And then I learned and I knew. And this is what I want to share with you. If you can do this, you may not be able to help everyone, because some people, we all have different level of cognitive bias, depending on your belief, our environment, and all those things. But some people, you may be able to actually teach them what they don't know, and that's how you change the world. That's how you also become a better, kinder person, if you can. Not everyone can do this, but if you can do this, it's much better than just judging others like everyone is doing. This is why the world is such in a terrible state. Everyone is judging everyone else. Look at what is happening in America with Trump being elected. And you can see all the Democrats laughing at the MAGA people. Ah, you're so stupid. Look at them. They know nothing about history, geography, politics, or economic, or anything. They're so stupid, stupid, stupid. This is why they lost in the first place. because they never showed any connection. They never saw them as human beings. And they don't understand that those people, they are what they are because of the circumstances. No one chooses to be in an environment where everyone lives in fear and anger and discrimination. We are the result of our upbringing and our environment. They didn't choose to be racist. They didn't choose. It's just the environment that get them to be like that, to have a propensity to believe whatever Trump said. And so, because of that, there was always going to be a clash. If so, it goes for all sides. What I'm saying, if people could see the human behind the behavior and understand that they are what they are because of X, Y, Z. So what can we do about this? Am I going to belittle them, call them stupid, and make them even more angry against you? Or are you going to try to maybe help them open their mind, open their heart, and change a little bit? So that's the difference. So that's why I say that we should always ask ourselves, we do this out of habit. So it's not our fault. We do this because everyone does it. Our parents did it. Our teachers did it. People we look up to did it. Everyone on television, on social media, in the street, everyone does it. But it doesn't mean that we have to do it. Some people don't. And we want to learn how to become those people if we can. So I'm here. I'm here to teach people how we're all the same and we're all the product of our upbringing and environment, and no one chooses anything. But we can choose to be a better human being, and potentially get to the point where we can also help people change. I did it with myself. I used to be very angry, reactive, hateful, vindictive, petty. I was a very different person for 38 years of my life. I hope this answers your question, Josiah. Deep trust. First, I'm very depressed. Okay, do you want to talk about it? Let's talk. Let's have a chat. What is going on in your mind? Megan, you are not alone in feeling depressed. Indeed. So this is the first thing that we may want to highlight. When we're depressed, we think that we are different and we're alone and no one can understand us. No one can get us. No one knows how much we've been through. But the truth of the matter is that many of us are depressed. And when I was depressed, when I was younger for a long, long time, I used to think that people who are depressed are alone. But the cruel irony is that if you put everyone that is depressed together, that is probably the majority of the people in the world. And so the loneliness that you're experiencing is your own perception of the world, and it becomes your reality because of this. But it's not the truth. There are a lot of people out there, and if you look in the right place, you will find the right people who will love you for who you are, without you having to do anything about it. But it's a process, of course. I understand that when we're depressed, it's not that easy. Pumpkin, how do I start to enjoy my life? I feel like I have some conditions and tend to feel very overwhelmed and or completely lack the ability to do anything in a frozen state that I don't know how to break. You do it one moment at a time. You break it down. And those are the premises of mindfulness. You don't want to change everything. If you look at your life, it's a pile of problems and complications, and you don't even know how to get started. So what you want to do is to stop looking at the top of the mountain and focus on little baby step, one baby step at a time. That's it. Focus, zoom in. What is the one little thing that I can do right now that can make me feel better? You can do some breathing technique. You can do some meditation, put some music, put some meditation recording with some bird songs or some nature sounds in the background to relax you. You can go for a walk. You can play some music. You can dance. You can do anything that you enjoy doing. If you like running, playing football, or whatever, do that. If you enjoy being a creative, if you enjoy drawing, sculpting, whatever, creating something, do this. If you enjoy watching shows that makes you laugh, that inspire you, stuff about animals or whatever, do whatever you enjoy. This is how you find happiness, by finding in your life what you have already. How can you make the most of what you have already? If you think about the things that you don't have, that others have and that you want, you're going to suffer. I didn't have a good family. No one loves me. I'm an orphan. I'm different. People always rejected me. I'm not as smart as others, or whatever that you may think about yourself. If you compare yourself with others, you're going to stay in your state of depression. But if you can zoom in, okay, this is my life. There's always better. There's always worse. Now, right here and now, what can I be grateful about my life? Do this. Practice gratitude. I want you to realize that no matter how dire your life may seem to be now, to some people, it's heaven. To some people, they would love to be in your shoes because they are so much worse. So I'm not trying to trivialize what you're going through. I know that it's horrible, and this is our experience. But if you can zoom out and realize that there's always better and there's always worse, what it does, it helps you be in a better state to find out about what you can be grateful for in your life right around now. And so it can be a simple little thing, cup of coffee. It can be opening the window, fresh air, sunlight. It can be talking to one person, a neighbor, about anything. It can be, I don't know, watching a show that we enjoy, learning about something that we like. It can be so many little things like that. You want to find joy and enjoyment in the littlest things. Make your life simple. Simplicity is the most overrated aspect of a life. If you can enjoy a moment like I do, I go in the park every day as much as I can. I go to Russell Square, it's my local park, and I sit down on a bench and I look at the trees, I look at the birds, the butterflies, the squirrels, I look at the leaves, the wind, I can smell the wind, I get the sun shine on me, I see the people, I see the pigeons doing their noise, people with dogs. I look at the grass, the plants, the flowers. I'm just there and I'm observing that, and life is perfect. I need nothing else. Now, I enjoy a lot of things in my life, but just that is amazing. It really is. And we don't need to look any further. If you can have this, you can remind yourself that right around now, you can find happiness, beauty, peace, joy, excitement, inspiration, anything that you want, you can find it in this moment. If you want something else, know that you may have had some experience in the past where you have already experienced what you want. So go there and remind yourself, that was good. So you remind yourself that you had some good time in your life as well. You have that power. You can achieve things. If you've done something once, you can do it again. If you have attracted something once, you can attract it again. The main thing is for you to be in that space where you are at peace with yourself and this moment, as opposed to comparing yourself with others. I'm not enough. What's wrong with me? Why are they so happy? They're so happy and beautiful, and life is easy for them, but not for me. It's so unfair. If you think that, you're going to be trapped in that narrative and you'll suffer forever, as long as you do this. So yeah, does it help? Pumpkin puff. May Gang, 1 little step at a time. Yes. May Gang, I heard a joke today about happiness, but I can't write it. Why not? Is it a naughty joke? Simon M., your shorts on YouTube have been so helpful to me. Thank you. Thank you so much, Simon. I'm so happy with this. So I'm going to keep on doing this. 3 shorts every day. But I do intend, I've been saying this since the start of the year, but I'm so busy with other stuff. But I do want to do some new long-form content again. It's just that it takes some organization and time. But it will happen at some point, hopefully sometime in the next few weeks. So yes, keep an eye on this. Megan, you are enough, I am enough. Indeed, we're all enough. Megan, yes, naughty joke. Go on, go for it. But maybe find a way to use a code so that you avoid the censorship police. Pumpkin puff. So if I am stressing about tomorrow, should I be changing my mindset, doing breathing exercises? Yes. So just one thing, please. I need to blow my nose off. Just bear with me, please. Sorry about this. If I'm stressing out about tomorrow, should I be changing my mindset? You want to change your thoughts. Yes, mindset is how you think. You want to change your thoughts first and foremost, and as you do this more and more, eventually it will become your mindset. Doing breathing exercise, yes. If you're stressed out about tomorrow, breathe to bring yourself back from tomorrow to here, now, today, right here, right now. And then once you are here again, then you can choose to do things and think things that make you feel better about yourself. Instead of, if you think about tomorrow and you are apprehensive about it, you will feel bad because you are thinking about that. So first, yes, breathing is always very important because when we are in some sort of emotional state, we have less access to our rational mind. We are functioning emotionally. And so breathing allows us to go from here back to here. Me again, breathing exercises are so helpful. Yes, yes. We don't realize how we take everything for granted. Even breathing, we take it for granted, so much so that we don't think about it. But breathing has so much benefit. There's so much power in understanding how we can breathe. It's such a humble thing, and yet it's so, so, so powerful. The Kalima, can you please explain what anxiety is? Anxiety is a system that exists to remind you that some bad things happened to you in the past, and that it may happen again, and that when it happens again, you won't be able to do anything about it, just like you were in the past. That's what anxiety is. It's an alarm system. It's a system that you put into place because you've been overwhelmed by a situation, and you have never been given a coping mechanism to deal with that. And so the anxiety itself has become your coping mechanism. It's the system that you've put into place subconsciously to protect you from the possible recurrence of those events from the past. If you had a system to deal with that, if it happens again, then you wouldn't need the anxiety anymore. So obviously, this is all happening at a deep subconscious level. So we need some specific tools to reach your subconscious mind. But having said that, this is it. Anxiety is an alarm that is always buzzing in the background, and there are some triggers, some cues that will switch on the button every now and then, more so than other times. And very often we forget why they were there, even in the first place. Sometimes they're connected to some very obvious cognitive justifications as to why we're anxious. We know why. But other times it's subconscious. We have forgotten why. And sometimes it's a bit of both. And so, yeah, this is what anxiety is. Anxiety are systems that we put into place, just like everything else that we're dealing with in our life that are problems, like depression, anxiety, overthinking, addiction, self-sabotage. All of those things were originally created by us to protect us from the bad things that happened to us then. So what we can do is to find a way to teach our mind that we don't need the systems to protect us anymore. And if we can do this, then it will eventually leave you. Josiah, how can you be self-confident when you can't confide and trust in yourself fully? You learn how to love yourself. You learn how to accept yourself. You learn how to let go of the limiting belief that your worth is to do with what others think of you. It's a process, right? It's a process. You don't learn how to be confident. Confident is the byproduct of you accepting your own self. If you can learn how to be authentic and accept yourself fully, then as a result of it, as a natural byproduct, you will exude confidence. But confidence is not a skill. Confidence is the natural byproduct of you having come to a place where you have accepted yourself. So you have nothing to prove. Basically, you don't care about what others think. You know yourself, you know your worth, you know what is your mission in this life, and you don't care about anything else. That's how we develop confidence. Mayo Gang, anxiety was given to us by the creator for survival. So if you're religious, you're going to believe in all sorts of things like that. I like to explain things from a psychological perspective. So in my eyes, it's not that, right? Anxiety, just like everything else, there are things that we have for all sorts of reasons. But I don't believe that there's a creator. I don't believe that the creator gave us something so that we have to survive. We're not here to survive. We're here to experience ourselves. And so a phase of our life may involve surviving, But hopefully, for most of us, we will be able to move on from survival to living and thriving. And we may go back and forth, but the human experience is to have the whole of it. Right? And so, yeah. But I understand if you are religious, you may have different interpretation. It's fair enough, but it's not how I would explain it, because I want to be useful. And so when we talk about human psychology, it's useful. People can understand how the mind works, regardless of your belief. Whereas when it comes to religious belief, it will only work if you share the same belief as that person, right? Me again, it causes issues. Didi can explain much better. All right, thank you. So there you go. Thank you, me gang. The Karima, thanks. My pleasure. Megan, I'm not religious, very interesting. Okay, all right, I thought you were, because you're talking about the creator. If someone says the creator, it means to me that they believe in a God that is in charge and responsible for everything in the universe. And I don't personally share this belief. I'm very spiritual, so I believe in the universe, but I don't believe in an entity called God. I believe that God is the universe and God is energy. It's not a person. I believe that believing that God is a person is an oversimplification born from back in the days when we didn't know much about the world. So we had to come up with something. And that was the closest thing that we could relate to. But for me, God is energy. It's the energy of creation, the energy of love, the energy of connection, the energy of inspiration, of growth, of all of those things. The energy of life, fluctuation, movement. This is what God is to me. And so we all have God in us. And whenever we are doing some actions that carry love and inspiration, we are God in this moment. Me again, perspective. Yes. Pumpkin, thank you, Didi. I looked into box breathing and I will try that. Yes, very good. Well done. Thank you. Please do so. Josiah, how does diet affect mental health? What are you drinking for hydration now? So first thing, how do you drink? What are you drinking? Water. What do you drink for hydration? Water. Now, I'm going to say, if you train a lot, you may sweat a lot. So you may want to, what I do, I take a bottle of water at the gym and I put half a teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt. And this is to make sure that I have my electrolytes sorted when I sweat. So that's the one thing that I have. But that's because I train a lot. Just water is great. Anything with a fluid, but water is great. Now let's go back to your first part of the question. How does diet affect mental health? It does affect it correctly. Because whatever that you put in your system is going to get your body to function in different ways. And what it means is that our body creates chemical reactions that are what we call feelings, but also whatever happens in our body is down to chemical chains of reactions. And so whatever that you eat or don't eat will affect that. Right? And so one of the very important things that most people don't realize is how 80% of the serotonin in your system are created in your belly, in your gut. And serotonin is a very important hormone because it helps you relax, soothe, feel better. And so what it means is that if you don't have a good diet, if you're eating junk food, if you're eating processed food, if you're eating sugar, carbs, alcohol, toxins, if you're eating things that are getting your belly to constantly be inflamed, then you're going to destroy those 80% of potential serotonin. So now, whenever you're stressed out, you only have 20% available. So this has a direct impact into your mental and emotional balance. Right, so very important. So the diet that I always will recommend to everyone is a diet that supports your gut microbiome health. Do your research, do your own research, gut microbiome health. So we can also do fasting on the top of this, very important. But you want to eat healthily for your gut to be happy, so that you are able to produce all of those chemicals that helps you have an easier life. So yes, that's my answer. But you want to, it's very important. Most people don't realize that so much of the food that has been around since the 80s are poison, are very, very bad. Avoid processed stuff, avoid carbs and sugar, avoid alcohol, eat a lot of fibers. a lot of different veg. You want to have a rich diversity in your microbiome, so a lot of different stuff, not just meat and potato. You want to really have a lot of different microbes in inside of you. Your gut is a planet. It's got a trillions of microbes happening. They have their own society, and so you want to make sure that you are creating a good environment for them, so you're happy. And now we were talking about it yesterday on my TikTok live. We know that we have neurons in the body, not just in the brain, in the gut, in the spine, in different parts of your body. And it's a network. Information goes from all directions. And if anything, there's actually more information going from the gut to the brain than the other way around. That's why it's so important to have a good diet, to not be overweight, to not be constantly inflamed, bloated. Not only for physical, but also for mental and emotional health. Pumpkin. I'm not sure how breathing will change my anxiety mindset, but I'm happy to do some experiments. So I can explain it. I can explain it to you if you want. Breathing will not fix your mindset. Breathing will help you feel better in the moment. That's it, right? Mindset is how you think, and so the mindset is the result of your habits of thought. So this is something that happens over a long period of time. When you are breathing mindfully, you are teaching yourself how to come back from a place of anxiety to a place of, I'm safe, I'm calm, I'm serene, everything is okay right around now. This is what it does. But as you do this more and more, it will teach you to remind yourself that you have power. Whenever you are feeling overwhelmed, you can always do this. And that will help you feel better about yourself. You're not feeling like you're at the mercy of life. You have a power. You can choose how to feel better in this moment. Now, having said that, this is only for the moment. If you have some triggers, some baggage, you want to address them. The breathing will not suffice. It will not be enough because it will only make you feel better for one moment. But your old habits of thoughts and emotions will come back at some point and you will feel anxious again. And so you want to find a way to address those triggers, those root causes. And this is what you do through therapy or through your journey of self-healing. The breathing, however, is very important because it helps you at least feel better in the moment. And this is very, very precious. This is absolutely very important. Because so many of us, we suffer from anxiety or even panic attack. And when it happens, we feel powerless and it's just horrible. So there you go. Pumpkin, is it like grounding techniques? I feel like the stress overpower all my thoughts and becomes an obsession. So it's like a form of grounding technique, but it's more powerful because you can make it last longer. The grounding technique, you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then that's it. But for some of us, it takes more time. So when you breathe, you can do 10 reps. And if it's not enough, you do 20. And if it's not enough, you do 50. And if it's not enough, you do 100. It doesn't matter. You do it until you feel better. And it will work. If you do it until you feel better, you will feel better. That's the difference. You can extend it for as long as needed. My stress overpowers on my foot. So this is why you must breathe. Because when your stress overpowers your thought, what it means is that your body is overcoming your head. And this is what happens. When you're in a survival mode, your body has taken over and you can't think because your body is reacting emotionally. And this is why when you breathe, you're bringing yourself back from a sympathetic state to a parasympathetic state, to a survival mode, to a chill mode. This is precisely what breathing does. Mere gang, grounding in nature, being around high vibe people, yes. Breathing exercises, physical exercises, mindfulness, gratitude, cats, clean food, yes. So clean food is a great thing, but again, remember what I said about the gut microbiome. Eat a lot of pulses, beans, chickpeas, whatever, a lot of veg, a lot of spices and herbs. Have some probiotics, some prebiotics as well. Fermented food, kimchi, sauerkraut, kefir, kombucha, there are plenty of them out there. And fast. And don't eat too much It's just so that you have enough. All of those things are very important. Pumpkin, thank you for your explaining. My pleasure. Pumpkin, so it's to help us feel better in the present. Yes, absolutely. Not necessarily change your thoughts, but to feel calmer. Yes, it's a first step for you to feel better in the moment. But the more you do this, the more you can, the more better moments you can have. So it's still very, very important. Omnom, thank you for mentioning the reps / amount of breathing. Many people don't know that. Yes, absolutely. It's not, there's no set fixed numbers. It's about doing it until you feel better. And so it may sometimes take more time. You may have to breathe for half an hour, 45 minutes until you feel better. It depends. If you're having a panic attack, it may take that amount of time, but it still works eventually. So you need to have faith in the process. You need to believe in the system. But here's the thing. Once you get to that point where you're feeling better, you need to realize, it's true. What he said was true. It does work indeed. So now you are feeling better because now you have something. You have one tool that can make you feel better in the moment. So you're going to apply it again. Now you know that it works. And the more you do this, the less time it will take. Again, everything is a skill. So whatever you repeat over time, you become better at it. Me gang, I get bloated after eating. Okay, so we talked about it. Address your nutrition and also maybe eat mindfully. When we eat, like everything else we do in life, we tend to we're thinking about the day, tomorrow, and we're not aware of much. And we end up biting our tongue, swallowing too much, and being bloated. What you can do is to learn how to appreciate each mouthful. Focus on the food. Focus on, just 1 second, please. Focus on, let me show you. This is my cup of coffee. I could gulp it and have 36 of them and not remember any of them. Or I can do this. This is my cup, it's heavy, I can see it, I can smell it, and I'm going to have a little sip of coffee. I can feel it going through my palate. I can smell the taste, the bitterness. I can feel the kick of caffeine in my brain. Now I can feel it going down my throat. I'm aware of what is going on in my body. I'm appreciating one little gulp. And I can do it for each of them. I can enjoy the coffee much more. I'm going to appreciate it. It's become a ritual now. It's an experiment. It's a party. It's not just a cup of coffee. And so when you do this with your food, you look at the texture, you do one mouthful at a time, you put your fork back before you have another one, and you chew. You chew until it's completely dissolved, and you smell it, and you optimize the experience of taste. And you take your time, and eventually, as you take more time, first you will be present, you will practice mindfulness, and you will be digesting better. But also what you want to do is to realize that what you want to do is to be satisfied with your food. You don't want to be full. So normally what we do, we just eat until we're full. But we don't realize that it takes 20 minutes for the belly to tell your brain that it's full. So what happens? Very often we eat more because we were full a long time ago, but we keep on eating because the brain doesn't know yet. And so out of that habit, we're all overweight for the vast majority of us. But also before even that, you want to realize that you don't need to be full. You want to be satisfied. And so by eating mindfully, by chewing until it's absolutely liquid and it goes down your throat, so you can digest better as well, then you will be more able to realize at some point, I have so much joy. It was so nice. All those food that I enjoyed, now I'm satisfied. That's enough. So you can have a break. And there'll be more likely than not way before what you used to normally eat. Right? And that will prevent you from bloating. You will eat more thoroughly, chew more thoroughly, and eat less and spend more time eating. So that is an experience. And that will help you also being at peace. You are literally in a digestive mode, as opposed to, I must eat, I'm still stressed out, I must eat because I've got something to do right after. When you do that, you're not in a digesting mode. So yeah, try those things. Now, there could be other reasons as to why you are bloated, but based on our conversation so far, I believe that those are the sort of things that I would recommend. And also you won't find out if you may be allergic to some food. Omnom, how often would you say fasting? Like if intermittent fasting, how many hours and whole days, yes or no? It's for you to discover. So it's just a guideline. There's no magic set of numbers that will work for everyone. What you want to do is to realize that you want to give your body a break from digesting. If you have 3 meals a day or more, you are constantly digesting. And when you are constantly digesting, because your body's priority is to digest the food, it's not able to do the other stuff that it was meant to be doing. Your body is meant to go through many hours without food so that it can repair the cells, so it can do all sorts of things that your body is meant to do. And so by skipping your breakfast, that's the first step. If you can skip your breakfast, that's easy enough. And then eventually you want to realize that the more you extend the fasting period, the better it is. But that includes your sleep. And so let's say if your last meal is at 8 o'clock in the evening, and your first meal is 12 o'clock lunch, that'll be, 16 hours. 16 hours is great. But if you count, 12 hours is the minimum. 12 hours is the minimum not to go into deficit. And so when you want to start to heal yourself, start with 14 hours. 14 hours. And then if you can do 15, do 15. If you can do 16, do 16. So every day is going to be different. Sometimes you can do more. You may forget to eat because you're busy at work and you only start to have a meal at night. And so you can do 20 hours or more. But you don't have to stick to a number. Listen to your body and do what feels all right for you. Right? Don't go crazy on that. We're all different. But the idea is that you want to teach your body to give, you want to teach yourself to give your body a break from constantly digesting food. And so anything between 14, 16 is the sort of recommendation that I would tell everyone to try and do every day if we can. Some days we may not be able to do that, and it's okay. Some people fast for more than a day, but this is quite hardcore. You want to read up on it. Right? It's not for everyone. And when you fast, you can have black coffee, black tea, or water. No sugar, no honey, no milk, because those things will break the fast. Whereas just coffee or black tea have no calories, so it doesn't break the fast. So there you go. Try and see what works for you. Right? Me, gang, intermittent fasting is good. Yes, indeed. Pumpkin, I will try it. Look forward to my baby steps towards healing growth. Yes, thank you, Pumpkin. Me, gang, I'm actually underweight, but most people are overweight. Okay, so in that case, eat more. Eat more. But also, are you the person who is addicted to heroin? Because if that's the case, you have other problems to address, right? That'll be the reason. Me, gang, but yes, I could benefit from more mindful eating. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm just realizing that it's nearly 5:30. I've been here for quite a while. I think it's time for me to resume the other things that I was doing today and say goodbye. Is there anything last that you'd like to ask me before I go? I'm going to go slowly, but if there's any question, I will answer it. But just so you know, guys, I'm going to do my best to come more often live on YouTube and on TikTok. So if you only follow me on one platform, I will appreciate you supporting me on the other platform. I do both of them. I post 3 short videos on TikTok every day and also 3 shorts on YouTube. And there's a delay, so they're not the same. And I also try my best to go live at least once on YouTube and 2 times on TikTok every week. So I'm still experimenting the times, but generally speaking, TikTok is in the evening, whereas YouTube would be more in the afternoon. And so let me know what sort of time or days you think is best, and maybe I can consider all of this and choose something optimal for everyone. If not, I will keep on trying different times and see what happens. And what I do, whenever I decide to go live, depending on my schedule, I will schedule it on YouTube. And so you can know in advance, right? If you have some free time and you want to, if you wonder whether or not I'm going to go live, go on YouTube. If you follow me, you will see whether or not I have scheduled a live for the day, and it will tell you what time. If you know any friends who can benefit from that, bring them along, get them involved. And that's it. If you have any questions, just ask me. If you want me to create some videos about any topic, also you can ask me. Write it down here or elsewhere, and I'll do my best to comply. And other than that, if you need any more details about me as a therapist and coach, there's also a link to my website on all of my videos. Okay, so let me read the last comments. Megan, yes, okay, yeah. Megan, thank you, bye. The Karima, thank you. Megan, what country are you in? UK. So it's free. So I'm going in the live in the afternoon on YouTube. Today I started from 3 o'clock in the afternoon UK time. Mares, if you work out in the morning, do you eat before your workout? It depends. Sometimes I can train without food. It depends how I feel. And sometimes I feel that I need food. So I listen to my body. So this is a very important thing to do. You don't want to do things blindly. You want to learn how to connect with your body and do what it tells you to do. So sometimes I need a little bit of fuel to make sure that I'm not missing out because my body is telling me so. And some of the time I'm full and I just take a coffee and I'm good to go. And I can lift the same things. You'd be surprised. It's possible. Pumpkin, thank you, Didi. Hope you have a good day. Thank you so much. Same to you. Guys, I love you all. Thank you for the conversation. I love you. And again, do come back so we can continue in the future. Bring people along. And in the meantime, I'm going to wish you all a great day or a great evening wherever you are. And that's it. Look after yourself. Be kind to yourself. And